How to start a charter yacht business. I'm going to explain the different roles in the industry and give you some general tips on how to get started. And then at the end, I'm going to discuss some potential pitfalls that you're going to want to avoid to run a successful charter business. I've been in the charter industry since 2011. I work as a charter broker, but I've also been a charter yacht manager, and I know many owners, and I frequently get asked for feedback or suggestions on how to improve their programs. So these are some of the tips and tricks I've learned. The first step when planning to start a charter business is to do some market research. And this means spending a week on a charter yacht. Even if you already own a yacht, you should spend a week and get a sense of all of the little touches that a crew does to make your week magic, and really look at it from a different perspective. Now you're a potential boat owner who's going to put your yacht into charter. What is this crew doing that makes me have this wow experience? These are the type of people I want on my boat, or I'm going to pick up some of these tips and tricks. I have worked at yacht sales stands at boat shows and talked to potential boat buyers, and it is unbelievable to me the number of people that want to buy a yacht but have never chartered a boat. If you're going to spend hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars on a yacht, you owe it to yourself to experience it at its best. And this is one of the top tips. Don't just book any yacht, book an award-winning yacht. I go to crude yacht boat shows all year round in different locations. These are industry-only events that are not open to the public. They are just charter brokers like myself touring yachts and meeting crew so we can make recommendations to our clients. At these events, the boats are judged. They give out prizes for best in show, best culinary awards, so best cocktail, best entree, best dessert. Sometimes the crew will get the best, even though the boat they're on isn't the most stunning, the crew has the best personality. These boats are ranked on all different things. They also are often tiered so that a boat, that goes for 30 grand a year isn't competing against a boat that is going for 100 grand a year. So that might be something like best in show, 50 to 75 feet, best in show, 45 to 55 feet, something along those lines, so that the boats are really competing against their own competition. I've been a secret judge at these boat shows. I know what it's like when you get greeted. What is the first impression the crew makes? For instance, it's a hot sunny day. I walk on the boat. They hand me a chilled scented towel. Maybe it's lemongrass scented rolled up. I can wash my hands, I can wash my face, and then I can do the boat tour. Or perhaps I step on the yacht and they offer me their signature cocktail to try while I take a tour around the boat. These are all things that stand out to me and really, help me get to know the crew, help me get an impression of what my client's experience is going to be. So when we're ranking these boats for boat shows, this is what brokers are looking at. We're industry professionals that know, what clients like and what they don't like. So if you're booking a yacht that just won best in show, you're going to have an awesome trip. And this should be what you model your charter yacht program after. Next, objective. What is your reason and what is your objective for putting the yacht into charter? For most people, the answer is they want to offset the cost of owning a yacht. By making it available for charter, it's a business and you can write off many of the expenses that you would incur, whether or not it's in charter or it's sitting at the dock. Now, it's a business, these are write-off expenses, so that's a great reason to say your yacht is available for charter. I know that you might talk to some sales guys if you're thinking of buying a boat to put it in charter, who will give you the numbers and tell you how profitable it could be. But I would say that most owners are just happy to break even on the expenses. What is a busy charter season? If a yacht does about 20 weeks a year, they would be considered sold out. 15 would also be a really good season for most yachts. There are sometimes owners want to have their boat used very sparingly, so they might set their rates a little higher and aim for something like 10 charters a year. These are some different goals, but your objective should be primarily to offset the cost of owning a yacht when you're putting it into charter. Next, location and market research. Where are you thinking of putting your yacht into charter? Does it have an existing market, or will we be building up the location on its own? The top charter markets in North America are the Virgin Islands and the Bahamas. There's your tip right now. The Virgin Islands and the Bahamas are the best place to put your yacht in North America. There are some other great places, maybe St. Martin, Antigua, the Grenadines, but they don't have as much of a search volume. There aren't as many people on the internet searching for charters in these other locations. So anywhere else you base your yacht, it might just be a little bit harder to keep the calendar full. I definitely would suggest basing the yacht somewhere with an existing market. I've seen many owners choose to put their yacht in a location that doesn't have much of a charter market. For example, they're going to put the yacht in Key West or in Florida because it's a convenient location for them. Don't get me wrong, you're welcome to do that, but just these are some of the things to keep in mind. Are you going to keep your yacht full if it's docked in Florida? Is there enough people searching for yachts there? What I tend to find is that if you're in Florida, this is not a destination where people want to spend 7 days doing a full charter. It's more like a day charter crowd. So you're not getting the week-long charters, you're getting the day charters. The day charter people are not the same clientele that can afford to book it for a week. So it's just something to consider. And even if it's great for you to keep the yacht in Florida, what if you say for the next 3 months it's based in the Bahamas or something convenient where more people might want to charter it out for 1 week? But the biggest thing is, where are these destinations that have enough online search traffic? I mean, maybe it's beautiful where you want to keep your boat docked, but if nobody's looking for it, it's really hard to build the market from the bottom up. Okay, who are the players in this business? This industry is great. There's lots of people to help you build up your program, and for the most part, they only get paid when your yacht is booked on charter. So they're paid on commission, and if your yacht isn't getting booked, they're not getting paid. It's a nice way to structure a business. It's not like you have to hire all these people to market your yacht. This industry already exists. So the players are the yacht, of course, the yacht manager, the charter manager, and the broker. I often think of it as this. The clients and the people on charter are the end user. The charter broker is the retail store. You get thousands of brokers advertising the boat for you all over the world when you're plugged into these broker networks. How do you get plugged in? The charter manager, they are like the wholesaler. They manage the inventory, they manage your calendar for you. The yacht manager is like the distributor. So they make sure the yacht is in good condition and is getting to where it's needed. And the yacht is the end product. So again, the roles are clients, charter broker is the retail store, charter manager is the wholesaler, yacht manager is the distributor, and the yacht is the end product. Now, of all businesses you can start, this is a low-cost business for you to get in because they're all incentivized to make this program successful for you. If they're not delivering customers, they're not getting paid. The charter broker is not someone that you need to go find to work with. Once your yacht is listed online, the charter broker is going to find you. I'm a charter broker, and I would describe my job as a travel agent specifically for yachts. I can book your yacht, but I can book a yacht anywhere in the world. I'm not tied to any one particular company. And my job is to represent the client's interests in the booking process. The charter manager is another side of it. A charter manager lists yachts on a central database and is visible to brokers all over the world. They manage the booking calendar, they hold funds in escrow account per contract terms, they're going to proofread the contracts before they ask you to sign them, and they're going to answer any questions from brokers. The reputation of the charter manager says a lot about the yachts that they offer. If a manager I work with all the time and do tons of volume with adds a new yacht to their fleet, I wouldn't hesitate to offer it to my clients. On the flip side, and a potential pitfall, is if you sign up with a yacht manager that doesn't have a good reputation or doesn't manage many other boats. You might have a beautiful new yacht, excellent program, but brokers are not going to give your yacht a chance because they don't like the person that they have to deal with when they make bookings. These names, like I could tell you people in the Virgin Islands that I love and people I wouldn't work with. And part of your market research would be to charter a yacht or talk to a broker and get all of this advice throughout the process so you don't start this program with a disadvantage. So that's a charter manager. Sometimes you'll find a company that is both a charter manager and a yacht manager, but sometimes they're two different companies. So let's talk about what a yacht manager is and what they do. So a yacht manager will hire the crew. They will ensure maintenance is scheduled and completed, and they will make sure that the yacht paperwork is all up to date. They will arrange crew work visas and various other country registration requirements. They will be your point of contact for all things related to their yacht. Their job is to liaise with the owner. They will review bills for maintenance and make sure charter funds are coming in, and they should be keeping the books for you. An easy way to think of the yacht manager is that they're the boots on the ground getting things done for you. It is possible that you can self-manage or that a crew can manage the yacht, but you need to ask yourself, do you want to be involved in the day-to-day operations or not? For the most part, again, everything will flow smoothly and there won't be a lot to handle from day to day, but I have been a broker through hurricanes and through the pandemic, which led to many, many unhappy people who want to speak to who is in charge to get exceptions to their contract terms. I mean, these are legitimate concerns. Who could have seen a pandemic coming out? Do you want to field those calls? Do you want to be the ultimate person they're talking to you at the end of the phone that's negotiating with some of these brokers? Or do you want the yacht manager to be able to answer this stuff for you and just give you the highlights? This stuff cannot fall to the captain to do, even when it's a self-managed yacht. A captain can't be expected to have tough conversations with a potential client, because if the conversation is, no, we're not giving you a refund, you need to go on your charter as planned. You don't want there to be any sort of a, negative connotation before this client steps on the boat. So the captain can't have that conversation if they've been going back and forth and negotiating with the client. That's why you would need a yacht manager that can answer some of these questions. So if you're just getting started, I would encourage you to find a company that offers yacht management in addition to charter management. So again, yacht management manages hiring the crew, the maintenance. Charter management is the calendar and the money for the charters. Potential pitfalls or challenges that might come up and scenarios that might come up when you're in a yacht charter business. So the crew is really one of the biggest aspects of running a good program. A good crew will absolutely make or break your business. Knowing who's good crew goes back to doing market research that we talked about at the beginning. Sometimes you're lucky enough to get an amazing crew that stays with you for 5 years. They can manage the boat, all the day-to-day operations, and everything is smooth as can be. Other times you're going to get a lot of crew turnover, and it might have nothing to do with you. I mean, maybe they get an offer for a bigger job, a bigger boat that they can't resist. One of the crew members gets pregnant, a couple gets divorced, they have a family emergency and need to leave the yacht. All these things are completely out of your control, but they affect your program at the end of the day. And then, of course, how are you paying the crew? Are they below market rates where you get incentives? Do they get incentives for good reviews or repeat clients? Do they get an end of the season bonus? I would think about what you can do to retain top talent. And if they're underpaid, they won't last. The other thing associated with that, crew are great, we want to keep them, but we also want to know is, are they doing a good job? One of the biggest challenges I see is managing the relationship between the captain and the owner. Of course, you want the crew to be great, and they should be on their best behavior and best service around the owner. Of course, you're the one employing them. So whatever you see is always going to be the best side. And is that what clients are always getting? Very hard to say. I have seen instances where brokers have had issues with or a bad interaction with crew and will start to blacklist them. Sometimes they'll say this just to their friends, but what tends to happen will be that a lot of the good brokers will notice there's a problem or this crew is past their prime, and then the owner only sees the good side and they're not listening to the charter manager or the yacht manager telling them there's a problem. This situation happens all the time. I can think of it like even with young crews or old crews, you get people who are new to the business, are really energetic, do everything perfectly. After a couple of years or in a routine, and they get in that like, oh, well, I already put away the water toys for today. We'll take them out tomorrow. And saying these things to clients that just aren't the expectation. So that's an example. You need to manage the owner and captain relationship. One of the people who can be a resource for you in this would be the yacht manager, who will know if this person is doing their job, or the charter manager, who's getting direct feedback from the brokers on how every trip goes. Another aspect with the crew is what you're getting for receipts and what you're getting for maintenance. Things on yachts break all the time. Things are going to go in disrepair. Is the crew on top of it? Are they fixing every little thing as it comes up? Or are they letting things snowball into a big problem that could prevent a charter from happening? So if you're a boat owner or you're somebody with a ton of boat maintenance experience, you can sometimes read these bills and read these lines, this info that you're getting, and read between the lines of whether or not, all of these charges are legitimate or are they not legitimate. I've had some, owners will question, I think they're doing good, but why am I getting a bill for 20 life jackets when our boat can only keep 10, only have 10 guests aboard? Well, there are plenty of explanations of why that might be the case, but you need somebody to kind of help navigate these things for you. And a yacht manager can help oversee the maintenance and repairs and kind of oversee the crew and the crew management. So that's just another and a challenge is not to get in too close of a relationship with the crew. Even though they're great, you need to listen to the people if they're telling you they're past their prime or somebody else could be do a better job in this role. Another potential pitfall is the yacht manager. Is the yacht manager doing their job? Is the boat in good condition? Are you finding out that your boat registration expired after it happened, or are you getting notifications of this well in advance? Are they giving you updated financial reports? I would also caution that it can be a problem to change the yacht manager too quickly or at the wrong time of the year if you're unhappy with them. Oftentimes, the work permits might be tied to the yacht manager. For instance, the yacht manager had to incorporate a business in the British Virgin Islands so that when you want to hire crew, the work permits go through their company. If you decide to change the yacht manager, that could mean that the crew no longer has a valid work permit, which could cause big delays and big problems to your program. So if you want to make a change, it should be in the off season, which would be hurricane season, or in the winter if this is somewhere in the Mediterranean. But if you want to make any sort of change, or you think the yacht manager isn't doing everything they promised to, make sure you do it at the right time of year and don't get too hasty with it. I've seen some people change the yacht management for really no reason. They didn't give them a chance to do a good job. Something irked them or didn't go the right way when they were just getting started. But the company they were with was actually really good. They would have had a great season, and changing up their yacht manager mid-season really messed up a bunch of things for them, and it really set back the program. Another thing to keep in mind is supporting the charter management. One pitfall I found is not making enough allowances to keep the calendar full. The charter manager should provide you with feedback on when to do discounts and when to raise rates. If you're overpriced, do you need to offer promos to fill a calendar? If you're not willing to do that, nobody's getting paid, you're not offsetting the costs. Are you keeping the calendar up to date? Or are you booking trips for yourself and not informing them? So when a broker comes along and wants to book it, sends you a signed contract, and you're like, oh, wait a second, I actually plan to use that with my family. I'm not going to sign this contract. You can imagine all the frustrated people in that process. So you have to support the charter manager by keeping your calendar up to date. And ideally, you should know what you're going to do with the boat for the next 18 months. If you are waiting till the last minute to fill your calendar, it might not fill. I see this a lot in the Mediterranean. I book a lot of Americans who want to go to the Mediterranean. Americans booking a trip like that will often plan it further in advance than many Europeans will. So I will get things like, okay, it's July. I have somebody that wants to book a charter for next July. I contact the boat and they say, oh, we're not ready to take bookings. The owner doesn't know what they're doing next year. Contact us in October. Okay, well, I might contact you in October, or I might just offer 5 other yachts that already know what they're doing next season. So one thing to keep in mind is, are you keeping the calendar up to date so the charter manager can do their job? And are you keeping it open far enough in advance that people who want to book your yacht far in advance can book it, and you're not waiting for last minute bookings to fill your calendar? Another potential pitfall would be location. We talked about this briefly before, but putting your yacht somewhere that doesn't have a built-up charter location is going to push you into having to do day trips and party trips on the boat rather than filling a week calendar, unless you have a really strong reason for basing it somewhere somewhere that you like, I wouldn't do it. I mean, even if you want to keep it at the end of your dock and only send it out to charter occasionally, it needs to be in a location where it can easily get maintenance done, where the crew are going to enjoy living. There's usually some sort of, crew like social network where they can, I'm going to be on vacation, my good friend John is going to fill in for me, something along those lines. And do you want to take any type of booking because you didn't pick the right location, or do you want to move the boat to where it will get bookings and you will sell out? So a big pitfall in running a successful business is choosing the right location and being flexible for requests to move the yacht to different locations when somebody wants to pay you lots of money to move it to a new location so they can take a booking. This is kind of a summary of some of the things to think about when starting a charter business, the players in the industry, and a few pitfalls. Let me know what your thoughts are on this, and subscribe for lots more videos and tips on different locations, beautiful yachts to see, tips from captains. We are Seize the Day Charters, and reach out to me when you're looking to book a yacht. Thank you.